What's up, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and we're going to be bringing you guys the third episode for the 20th chapter of my Road to Exploring the Arsenal series, not Road to Mastery, Exploring the Arsenal, and featuring the FAMAS family. And this time we're taking a look at the NX standard variant of the FAMAS assault rifle, the FAMAS G2. Now, according to my knowledge, I know I said I wouldn't bring like real life stuff into this, but I just felt like it was just appropriate to mention this. But the FAMAS, I'm not too sure about this, but I want to say that the FAMAS in the normal one that you can get for GP, just GP standard or GP rare, I believe that's the FAMAS F1 G1 variant. I'm not too sure because I'm not too into the FAMAS family of guns. But then this time this is a FAMAS G2, which pretty much just looks like the same FAMAS except with an integrated S3 silencer and red dot sight, but whatever. This is the FAMAS G2, and in real life, the FAMAS, if you guys didn't know, is a French weapon, and it does come in a G1 and G2 variant, the G2 being more recent and modern, and I believe the French army still somewhat uses the G2 variant still to this day. I'd have to brush up on my gun trivia thing again. But yeah, this is the FAMAS G2, and this is the NX standard variant of the FAMAS, so let's get right into it. Now, in terms of pure statistics, it is exactly identical to the FAMAS SE. So, yeah, basically, if you want to use the FAMAS SE, statistically speaking, you should just use the FAMAS G2 if you don't want to spam missed cases for it, or if you don't want to wait until you're like, what? Actually, I forgot to include the rank requirement on the FAMAS SE. It is Major 4, so that's a pretty high rank to get to before actually managing to unlock it and basically buy it directly off the GP shop. And also, it costs 1200 GP a day, so that's kind of a pricey price tag. Pricey price tag. Redundancy. Anyways, so yeah, if you don't want to wait all that time and waste all that GP just to get the FAMAS SE, you might as well just get the FAMAS G2 if all you care about is statistics. But obviously, none of you just care about statistics only. So let's get into the differences between the FAMAS G2 and the FAMAS SE. Now, like I said before, and like I keep mentioning like a couple million times, but in the last like two and a half minutes, the FAMAS G2 is statistically identical to the FAMAS SE and the FAMAS SE. And now it's a little bit weird because normally it would be a difference in we've always been dealing with like differences in statistics and identical kind of mechanics and feel and performance, but now it's the opposite. The FAMAS G2 over the FAMAS SE has the identical statistics, but its performance and overall mechanics and feel are much different. Well, not really much different, but they're still very noticeably different. The first one will be its attachments. It comes with an integrated S3 silencer that is pretty, I want to say it's unique. Actually, it's not unique. It makes the same noise as the M4A1 SOP mod does. So if you guys are really big fans of the M4A1 SOP mod and its silencer, the FAMAS G2 has the exact same silencer noise. So that's a really big plus there. And plus, it sounds like a real silencer too, somewhat. I mean, at least I think it's a real silencer, or it sounds like a real silencer anyway. And yeah, it's the S3 silencer, so you get the benefits of the S3 silencer. Though I would like to say that it doesn't really perform like the S3 silencer in that the S3 silencer is normally supposed to eliminate all muzzle flash, but as you can see here, the FAMAS G2 still shows a little bit of muzzle flash there. So in that respect, the S3 silencer on the FAMAS G2 is kind of inaccurate, but I mean, it still sounds pretty awesome, so I think that's a fair trade-off. And right there, I got kicked from that game because apparently the emo thought I was too good for him. And here I'm on an oil rig game, so hopefully you guys enjoy this one too. And yeah, and it also comes with the integrated red dot sight. It is the NX NX sight that has the same zoom level as the iTech scope, and normally I don't really have a chance to actually use the red dot sight because I always use the iTech because that's what's available for GP, you know. But I really do enjoy the red dot sight on the FAMAS. The reason being is that normally I would prefer the ACOG, but First of all, you can't really replace the sight on the FAMAS G2 because, I mean, the red dot sight is integrated, so, I mean, there's not much you can do for sights. In fact, you can't attach any at all, so why even bother? Might as well get used to the sight that they give you. And the G2 in particular, the red dot sight really enhances its middle range capacity and capabilities because a combination of low recoil and really fast fire rate will pretty much ensure that you can just use your first like 5 or 6 shots to put someone down at middle range or something. Because, like I said, it has pretty low recoil. Well, I wouldn't say really low, but in scope recoil at least is very low. As you can see here, you can go up straight. You can go straight up in with the first 4 or 5 shots, which is really key. And you can also tap fire with this gun, even though it's not as good because it's got the integrated red dot sights. I prefer tap firing with like an ACOG or something like that. But it is still very good with the red dot sight. Instead of tap firing, I would recommend burst firing in shots of 2 in bursts of 2 rounds or 3. That's what I recommend. You don't really have to use it. If you guys prefer tap firing and firing 1 bullet at a time, then that's up to you. But it's just my recommendation. And also, because it's a red dot sight, it won't like magnify the recoil like an ACOG scope would, if you know what I mean. So those are the 2 advantages of using the red dot sight. I actually do highly enjoy using the red dot sight, even though I'm not really a big fan of low magnification scopes. But on the red dot sight, it seems to be working out pretty well on the red FAMAS G2. At least I don't have a problem with it. And in terms of like just trivial stuff like overall mechanics, movement mechanics of the FAMAS G2. Sorry about that. Let's see. I mean, I could go down the list. The sprint drawback, and the sprint animation is different. The reload animation is different. Oh god, I'm getting a call. Who is this now? Sorry about that. I was kind of interrupted by a phone call, as you could see there. And well, starting where we left off. I mean, I could go down the list. Like trivial stuff like sprint animation, reload animation, they're all different. I still do believe that the sprint, the reload animation or the reload speed is still the same, if not a little bit faster, like by like a couple milliseconds or something. But it's not too significant to like make a huge fuss about. So yeah. And also, one thing that I would like to note about the FAMAS G2 that's pretty interesting is that its S3 silencer doesn't seem to impede your damage capabilities or the damage capabilities on the FAMAS G2 by too much. Normally, S3 silencers would decrease 10% off your original damage rating, but it seems like it doesn't take off 10%. It's kind of like the M4A1 SOT mod where they tell you that the silencer doesn't reduce the damage by that much, but by how much we don't know still. But the FAMAS G2 seems to kind of behave the same way. And as always, the FAMAS does have the very, very interesting qualities of having extremely fast center speed and all the rest of it's good old statistics. Fast fire rate, very good damage. Pretty good portability for an assault rifle. You can definitely run around with it, and pretty good accuracy and really manageable recoil. Even though it statistically speaking, it's pretty high. Because of this S3 silencer, I would like to add that because of the silencer, the special silencer on the FAMAS G2, your recoil is actually reduced. I can definitely feel that the FAMAS SE's spreads out more than the G2 variant because of the fact that the G2 does have that silencer on it, and silencers, integrated silencers, for whatever reason, do actually do their job in reducing the recoil spread a little bit, and that's what you can see with the FAMAS G2. That's why I love using the FAMAS G2, because its recoil and basically overall performance while spraying at middle range is very good, and shots typically tend to center in the middle. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. The FAMAS G2 is an NX standard weapon, 900 GP a day, NX a day, I think. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this review. And next, we'll be looking at the FAMAS G2 SE, which pretty much is a waste of a gun, in my honest opinion. But whatever. See you next time.
Bravo team wins.